There you are. You don't have much time. Follow me. Mr. Angus Berger was found dead last night. We recovered 4 pieces of evidence from the crime scene. We first found his body in the rectum, which led us throughout the entire GI district. Let me break it down for you. So, we know that the most proximal location to where his body was found in the rectum was the large intestine. So we went there first. Follow me. So from there, we interrogated Mr. Colon about the first piece of evidence, shriveled lettuce. He said he had nothing to do with it, but I know better. So we know that Mr. Colon is responsible for the majority of the water, vitamin, and electrolyte absorption within the GI tract. However, after more pressing, he denied any involvement in the other pieces of evidence. So we had to move on. The next proximal spot, the small intestine. Next, we paid a visit to the small intestine, where we met Miss Duodenum, who has her 2 sons, Ilium and Jejunum. I asked them about the second piece of evidence, the grease trail that Mr. Berger left behind, but they said they had nothing to do with it. However, we found a receipt directly under Miss Duodenum's name, including bile from the liver, lipase, amylase, and proteases from the pancreas, which are all considered active murder weapons. For example, bile secreted from the liver is stored in the gallbladder, which is then secreted in the duodenum, which is then used to emulsify fats, large fat droplets into smaller fat droplets, which is then digested by the lipase, which is secreted from the pancreas. Amylase and proteases are also secreted from the pancreas, but are used to digest carbohydrates and proteins, respectively. However, after more pressing for information, they said they denied any involvement with the other pieces of evidence. So I had to move on to the stomach. We then interrogated the parietal cells in the stomach, which are primarily responsible for secreting hydrochloric acid, which activates pepsinogen into pepsin and digests the proteins in the stomach. The stomach then takes the food and turns it into a chyme. The acid we collected in the stomach directly matched up with the third piece of evidence, the hole burned through Mr. Berger's clothing. We have one last piece of evidence, and there's only one place it could have been, the mouth. In the mouth, we found the crumbs that directly matched up with the fourth piece of evidence, the trail left behind, indicating that Mr. Berger was mechanically and chemically digested by the teeth, tongue, and salivary glands. Okay, to wrap it up, Mr. Angus Berger entered into the mouth and was chewed into a bowl using tongue and teeth. His carbs were digested by salivary amylase secreted by the salivary glands in the mouth. Then he traveled down to the esophagus and into the stomach where he was turned into chyme. His proteins are digested by pepsin and hydrochloric acid. Then he traveled into the small intestine, in the duodenum specifically, and pancreatic lipase and bile from the gallbladder digested his fats, whereas pancreatic amylase digested his carbs and pancreatic protease digested his proteins. Then he traveled into the large intestine where a majority of his water was absorbed and deposited in the rectum as feces. So overall, Mr. Angus Berger did not just fall to one person, but he fell to the entire GI tract.